Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have some breaking news coming out of the city of Detroit. And in a move that everyone saw coming except the man himself, Hendon Hooker, he has been waived. Now, I got to say one thing real quick. I understand that this is a business, and I feel sorry for anybody that is losing their job. I saw a video of a NFL player being cut, and it was very, very sad, right? I'm not even going to cap about that. However, I am in the entertainment business, and this is not a race thing. If you mention anything about race, you will be immediately blocked, never to return in my comment section, because I did the same thing with Nate Sudfeld, but I'm going to do it right now. Hendon Hooker was trash, and that's my normal voice, okay? Hendon Hooker was trash, and that is one. I'm not bummed about the pick. This is Brad Holmes' first quarterback that was taken. But before I go any further, here is coming from Jordan Schultz, says the Lions are releasing Hendon Hooker. Now, I'm assuming that means waived, that he is being waived. Now, remember, we talked about it yesterday that all players during this cut down phase, they go through waivers, and then at that point, if they clear, they can be put back on the practice squad, right? Or signed to another man's roster, another team's roster or something like that. Now, here's the deal. The Detroit Lions could very well bring Hendon Hooker back and put him on the practice squad. Right now, we don't have a quarterback on the practice squad. It's always good to have a quarterback on the practice squad. I think we had Jake Fromm last year, and I am sure that the Detroit Lions will have a quarterback on the practice squad. Just by the way, the Lions released Anthony Pittman, and Greg Joseph is the kicker that I was thinking about yesterday. Now, I am not mad at this whole process, okay? Hendon Hooker got hurt his last year in college, should have been a first-round pick, wasn't, came down to the third round. This is the only quarterback Brad has ever taken in the NFL draft, and it just didn't work out. Not every player comes out of college NFL ready. And if you don't get a chance to play, you're not going to get any better. Now, the 2023 third round is looking like a massive fail for Brad Holmes because Broderick Martin, we're just waiting on the call for that to happen, for him to be released as well. But how bad was Hendon Hooker? I'm thinking this, like, you release Anthony Pittman and Hendon Hooker. Like, you have 90 men. So you release, man, 90, and man, your 89th man was Hendon Hooker. Like, not Tom Kennedy or not, you know what I'm saying? Like, not one of these other guys. Not, what's the guy named? The tight end that false started on Saturday. Not him, but Hendon Hooker. Like, how bad was he? How bad was he? Now, I know that people will have their opinions on Hendon Hooker, and you are entitled to that. And again, I think the Broderick Martin pick is more of a fail than Hendon Hooker. Hendon Hooker, in my opinion, what happened was, I'm not glad that he lost his job. I'm glad that he is going to have an opportunity. I don't see him coming back on the practice squad because Brad mentioned something about players having changes of scenery. So I don't think he comes back to the practice squad, but he very well could. Hendon Hooker was drafted a lot, and it's crazy, man, because, I get a lot of ridicule for my not knowing football or my takes about the team. And you guys, there was a lot of you that thought that Hendon Hooker was drafted to replace Jared Goff. And I was adamant that was not going to happen. They are not that far apart in age. Hendon Hooker was a third-round pick, and he only had 4 years on his rookie deal. He is going into year 3. Jared Goff just turned 30. I believe Hendon Hooker is 28. You're not going to cut a 30-year-old quarterback for a 28-year-old one, right? If the Lions are going to upgrade from Jared Goff, it's going to be a rookie deal, something like that, right? A younger quarterback, not a guy that was drafted at 26 years old. By 26, you in your second, halfway through like your second deal or your second, your first extension. So I never thought this was going to be the case. And ironically, or not so ironically, Jared might have felt the pressure because I do think that Hendon was drafted to put some pressure on Jared Goff, and Jared Goff actually cooked under that pressure. Had one of the best years of his career, took us to the NFC Championship game, and then signed a massive deal, sealing Hendon Hooker's fate as number 2, if that. But you can't get any better if you don't play. And the same thing goes with Broderick Martin. These guys are not going to get any better. Hendon would be great if he wound up on a team that, as a backup quarterback, you're not going to get a chance to play. How many people have the opportunity to pull a Tom Brady where you come out and unseat somebody like Drew Bledsoe, right? Not everybody gets to do that. And that's why I think Tom Brady was so good. I know this ain't about Tom, but he was so good because he refused to give the job back. And maybe we'll see that from Hendon Hooker, but a failed experiment. Let me ask you this. Okay, this is a safe space. It really is. I know I'm a little bit aggressive. That comes from the whole, like the having an opinion on the internet. You're not entitled to have that. And everybody wants to criticize you for giving your opinion, right? When a lot of times it's right? I'm not Brad Holmes, but my stuff is just based off numbers. So it is a safe space. Let me ask you this. Do you still trust Brad Holmes' evaluation of quarterbacks? You guys, a lot of y'all can't stand Jared Goff. You hate everything about him. And now this is the only quarterback that Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell have drafted in 5 drafts is no longer on our team anymore. Does your confidence in Brad waver about drafting a quarterback, or do you think Hendon Hooker was just a miss and Brad will get it right next time? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, man. But again, breaking news in a move everyone saw coming, and it was kind of, it wasn't funny, but I say not funny, haha, but ironic. When Hendon Hooker threw the interception to seal the Lions' loss, I was like, he knows he's gone. Like you could just and he looked like he was just lost out there. He looked like he didn't know, and overall, I feel bad for him. Of course I do. I'm human. He's human. But I mean, how bad can I feel for a guy that's getting paid what he's getting paid? And I'm sure he will find his way. And again, I'm not trying to entertain at the expense of a guy, but this is what we do as fans, right? There's somebody out there, maybe you're making a Reddit post about yours truly. So, it's just part of the business. It is what it is. But Hendon Hooker, man, after 2 years, halfway through his rookie deal, is no longer a Detroit Lion. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. Do you think the Lions did Hendon Hooker dirty, or do you think he was never going to be able to do anything with the Lions? I don't think the Lions did him dirty. I know a lot of people, I'm seeing that on Twitter, a lot of people think we did him dirty. I don't think we did. We took him. He was never going to be number one, or maybe he was, but Jarrett bought out of control. That stuck a fork in that, and you're not going to get an opportunity to be better. Look at Jamarcus Russell, first overall pick. You can debate whether or not he should have been or not, and flamed out of the NFL. He was done in the NFL before his rookie contract ended. That's how bad he was. So I don't think the Lions did him a disservice. He got hurt. We took him. I mean, you could argue maybe we shouldn't have taken him, knowing that I don't think they knew that they were going to keep Jared Goff, like they were going to sign him. Because think about it. If Jared Goff lays a dud in that 2023 season, right, which was year 2023, that was the second year of Jared Goff's deal. So I think what the Lions did is, meaning when Jared was traded, he had 4 years. And I think they saw an opportunity. They took Hendon and they said, okay, if Jared lays an egg, we won't extend him. We'll groom Hendon. And then if Jared doesn't ball out of control, he's not on our team this year. His traded contract is over. Hendon Hooker is in year 3, and he's the new starting quarterback for the Detroit Lions. But I know a lot of y'all going to be kind of on the fence. Listen, we're not going to tolerate racism in here. I do the same thing. Nate Sudfeld, Nate Sudfeld is trash. That came from Nate Sudfeld, who is not African-American. Anybody who's ever met me, they know that is not a thing with me. It will never be. And if you go there, you will disappear from this comment section as long as you keep that handle. You will never be allowed back in here. This has nothing to do with anyone's race. All right. That's it. I'm only going to say that one time. All right. This channel is made possible by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. It's because of your support I get to do what I do. You could be anywhere else on YouTube, but you choose to rock with me. I'm going to say this, right? And I don't like to go here a lot, but for me to be African-American and have the following that I do, that tells you that sports transcends race. This has nothing to do, and of course, y'all are nice people as well, right? And I don't want to get all serious, but when I see that in my comment section, it gets ridiculous. It really does upset me because it has zero to do with that. If you knew me, if you watch me for any amount of time, that would never cross your mind. And the people that have met me and sat with me, broke bread with me, you know that that's not true. All right. Anyway, you guys are awesome. I'm sorry I had to get all after school special. You know what I'm saying? All family matters. All we needed was the crowd noise. But, you know, sometimes you gotta tell it like it is. All right. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions. I will see you in the next one.